I just want to hear that. Here we go.
Do.
Yay! All right. Well, welcome everyone to this week's Weekend Win Call. We are so excited that you are here. We plan to have amazing guest speaker for you today, James. If you've not seen graphics going around about his over 100 pound weight loss, I'll let him share. It's amazing, his transformation. So be prepared to be inspired. And then per usual, we're going to give you some tips that you can take along with you so that you can be successful. And as always, we promise to have you out of here at 5:30. You will have an opportunity to ask some questions. So if something comes to mind, please put a pin in it. In the last 10 minutes of this call, we will give you an opportunity to share. First, I would love if you would just put in the chat where you are listening from, like what part of the country. And two, tell me if you have ever had experienced like cravings, uncontrollable, where staying in alignment has been tricky for you, because we want to know that we're not alone, number one, because this happens to all of us. And number two, we plan tonight to share with you some tips on how to combat that. And so that's really cool. Andrea, Nikki, we have so many great people on this call, you guys, tonight. Thank you so much for joining. So if this is your first time, just so you know, this Weekend Win Call is for all clients, all potential clients, anybody who is just interested in filling their mind with more information on how they could win through the weekend, because for a lot of us, our schedules are different, our environments are different, which brings on a different mindset, which can bring in different actions. And what we don't want is to keep having this oscillation where we're off on the weekend and on during the week and off. We want to win the weekend, win our weeks, win our month, win at this journey. All right. So tonight we're going to start with an amazing story of inspiration. Let me share my screen just so I can put a James photo because it needs to be seen. Here he is. Woo-hoo! So you can just see from this photo here, a lot has changed for James, but I do not believe I could ever tell it the way he does. It's always awesome to hear somebody else share in their words. So James, why don't you start us off tonight? Take it away, share with us what has changed for you since you've been on this journey, and maybe a couple of things that have helped you the most and one thing you were struggling with the most.
Oh man, first and foremost, thank you so much, ladies, for such an honor to be here and to share my story. Where do I even begin? Almost a year ago, April 12th was when I started program. But prior to that, I was 330 pounds, morbidly obese and overweight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was a chef for 16 years. And I thought that was my purpose and my calling, was loving people through food and giving them the opportunity to be happy through food. And I really didn't have a relationship with food. I had a dependency on food. So that was I had a dependency on food, and that's what made me happy. That's what I turned to when I was sad or going through something. And yeah, it was my be all. But getting that diagnosis of high blood pressure and high cholesterol at 30 really kind of put me in the mindset of, wow, okay, this is happening. But it didn't change my relationship and my dependency with food. I continued to eat and whatnot. And then 36 came around, and I was now 333 pounds. I was furloughed and then off of my job of 16 years, and COVID hit. And so now I am in a place of not knowing where my next paycheck is coming from, and overweight. I was in a dark place most days, I was asking God not to wake me up because I was just existing in a life that I didn't recognize. But I wore a smile on my face so that people around me would want to be around me and not really see the pain and the discomfort and the hate I had for myself when I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger and someone that I didn't recognize. And so day in and day out, I just wake up, go through the things, and exist in life. I definitely was not living time. Um, and so I was asking God, I said, Lord, why do you continue to wake me up? I'm begging you to not let me wake up because I don't want to exist in this life. You know, I want to be able to live life and love my life. And that's not what I was doing. I was literally waking up, going to the fridge, eating, sitting on the couch, existing on the couch. Um, what really was the turning point for me was I was going to see my sister, and um, I was sat in the seat and I couldn't buckle myself in because my stomach was completely too big to buckle myself in. And I had to ask for an extender. And in that moment, I sat there and cried um, because in my head, people were looking at a fat slob that nobody would love and that nobody would want to ever be around. And in my head, that's what I was thinking, you know. But really, they saw that smiling mask that I finally had let go of because I was tired. I was tired of the discomfort. I was tired of the pretending. I was tired of the fake smile to make everybody else comfortable around me, to want to be around me. And that's what they saw. They saw the mask that I had let go of, the pain, the fake smiles, the fake I'm okay. Um, and just to be vulnerable and let people know they saw the hurt and the pain. You know, I don't know if anyone can relate, but I had tons of friends. I had tons of family around me, but I was alone. Have you ever been in a room full of people and just felt completely alone? That was my life for 36 years. Um, because I was afraid of the people that weren't serving me, that were around me, that saw me getting bigger, and that saw me drinking my life away and eating my life, partying my life away. And so I said, Lord, I need help because if I don't get help now, I'm not going to see 37. You know, I'm probably going to be in the ground and not be here. And so, by the grace of God, He put Joey Gonzalez in my life. If he's on, thank you so much. I can never thank this man enough for that. But I seen that he had joy and light in his life. I seen that he had time freedom to do the things with his kids. And I said, I want that life. I want that light in my own life. And so we got on a 45-minute Zoom call, and that changed the course of my life forever. I went from 330 pounds to 209 pounds in 9.5 months. And I can't tell you how crazy that sounds, even hearing it now. Like I had to look it up. I was like, what's the average weight for an average person? It's 130 pounds. And I was like, wow, I lost a whole person. Like, and now when people see me, they're like, wow, James, have you gotten taller? I'm like, no, I had a whole body weighing me down. And so I released a whole person, and that's why I'm so tall. But more so, mentally, I've gained love back for myself. When I look in the mirror, I see me. I see that bubbly, smart young man that I was years ago before adulthood and life hit me in the face and told me that I was unhealthy and it told me it wasn't good enough. Um, and so mentally, I have joy for life. I thank God for continuing to wake me up and not fulfill that prayer of letting me waste away because I now have a purpose. And my purpose now is to help, to inspire, empower, and encourage everyone on this call and in the world to what's possible for them, not to give up. Better health is out there, better community is out there, better finances is out there. You just gotta have, you just have to have the decision and the mindset to say, yes, and I'm ready because that's what it took for me. It took me being at my lowest point and letting a room full of strangers see that sadness and see that vulnerability to say, okay, my decision now is to say yes to life and to needing a change and wanting to live a life and not exist in it. Coaching, oh man, I can't tell you the joy of coaching. Like, I have inspired so many people just doing what I do now, which is coaching them to better health. But more so, it is the text message saying, "Thank you for giving me my husband back. Thank you for changing my relationship with food. Thank you for lowering my blood sugar, and my hypertension is gone." You know, I couldn't ask for a better purpose in life, getting text messages saying, "Thank you for changing my life," because it was done for me. So I would be remiss not to want to share this gift with so many other people, because if Joy wouldn't share with me, where would I be? You know, and I want that for so many other people. I want to be able to inspire and empower and encourage them to make this decision. Maybe you're on the fence. Maybe you don't need to lose weight, and that's okay. Maybe you just need healthy community. We can provide that for you through our amazing, amazing community of people. Maybe you need an accountability partner, but let me be accountable with you. Let me show you what accountability and healthy surroundings look like for you. You know, I was around a bunch of people that weren't serving me. Not to say that I don't love them, but I pick and choose now when I want to be around those people, and I have that option. And not to be, and if I lose them, guess what? That's okay. I have healthy communities and healthy people in my corner now that I consider family. Everyone on here, you guys are my brothers and sisters, and I thank God for you guys so very much. So thank you so much for sharing. I forgot to put my timer on, but thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for letting me share, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. So many amazing one-liners on there. You guys, please put love in the chat for James, because trust me, he's going to go back and read them. And we are all on here to inspire and make an impact. And so your words matter, your words of encouragement. And that story was amazing, right? So thank you, James, so much for sharing and inspiring. Now, we wanted to talk a little bit about portion control because this is something that we emphasize as one of the things to work on, one of the habits to work on in our health. And one of the things that we love to do on this call is to tell you why. Why this is important, because we believe that when you understand why, it plants some things in your subconscious as to a new foundation into why you're doing the things that you do, and they make more sense. And then they're easier to sustain. Okay? And that's what we want, right? We want to sustain our weight loss. So my slides got a little bit wonky a little bit earlier, so hopefully you can see them. I'm going to try and not open them up too much because it seems to take too much from my setting here. But did you know that portion size, the reason why we ask you to start off by eating our fuelings and making your one lean and green with very specific formulation. There's a recipe to it. It is 5 to 7 ounces of protein, 3 servings of vegetables. Why? Did you know that when you eat the perfect amount, the perfect portion size, your body releases then the appropriate amount of chemicals and hormones for you to feel satisfied? On page 321 of your Habits of Health book, not the Life book, but Dr. A's book, he goes into very great detail about leptin and insulin and how these two very fundamental hormones need to be regulated. If you overeat, eat too much, go above your lean and green recipe or requirements, you eat too much, if you eat things that are full of fat, that have a ton of chemicals and whatnot, those two things will throw off leptin and insulin. And did you know that when you overeat and when you throw off leptin and insulin, you're going to have supreme irritability. Going to feel like you want to gnaw your arm off. I don't know if you've ever done that. Maybe that's just me. Like there's just these moments where you're like, I just want to eat my own skin. Like, oh my God. So cravings, the irritability, and the ease and satisfaction of what you're doing go way down. So we ask you to stay within our fuelings and within our portions of the lean and green to keep your leptin and insulin level. Again, this is page 321 of your Habits of Health book. I highly encourage you to read this for yourself. There's beautiful graphs in there so you can see what this does to your body's chemistry. So if you're feeling like Enoch said last week, like just hangry, you want to eat yourself, it could be chemicals are off and it's not your fault. So it's good to know that, because then how do you reset? Okay. Here's something that will help you. Having a 9-inch plate. You guys, I historically, my 300-pound person always was looking for the biggest plate. I was always looking for the heavyweight paper plate that could hold the most, right? So we need to switch that mindset. Why? Let's go back to the beginning. When you overeat, you're going to throw off leptin and insulin. So help yourself by using a 9-inch plate. Your brain will automatically feel more satiated, aka full, because it sees that you ate everything off your plate, which also plays into a lot of our fundamental core values that we were taught. Eat everything off your plate. Don't waste any food, right? Those are things that play into our subliminal programming as to why we do what we do. So why not help yourself by giving yourself a 9-inch plate as opposed to 12 inches? Fill it up with the appropriate ratios, and your brain will think that you're full. This is a cheat code to satiation. Did you know that your chemicals and hormones are also regulated by the frequency of your eating? Again, your life book and your Habits of Health will explain in great detail how eating this way keeps your hormone levels in a nice fluid wave, as opposed to what we used to do, which is eat maybe at sometime around 10 or 11, go for a few hours, not eat until late at dinner time, huge portion sizes, all the wrong macros. This was the equivalent to you dousing your hormones with fire. Irregular timing and irregular portions, again, throw off leptin and insulin. These two chemicals are responsible for your body fat burning, for your sleep levels, for all of your body functions, really, thyroid function. They are huge chemically to your physiology. So eating on a schedule, eating the right portions is super, super important to just overall health. So this is taken from the Life book. I understand you probably can't read it really quickly, but it does say your new eating strategy. And this is forever, guys. So don't think you get to your healthy weight and then you can like throw all this stuff out the window. Your new healthy eating strategy now includes foods that are low glycemic. What does that mean? You don't eat the high carb stuff. It throws off your leptin and insulin. You understand why this is not good for all of your body physiology. So you eat low glycemic. You eat to satisfy your hunger. This is huge. How many of you used to eat to be full? How many would eat till food coma? Like that was your indication you were satisfied, was the coma that came after eating. That's not normal, guys, and that is not an indicator that you're full. There is a huge difference between being satiated and being super full. And this program, by eating those feelings, first and foremost, I believe, teaches you what it is to be satisfied. Because if you're like me and started this program at over, having over 100 pounds to lose, we eat to be full. And that is not correct. It says that from now on, you control your caloric intake. So this is forever. We've got to track. You got to know what you're putting in your system. You eat healthy fats in moderate amounts. Again, this is macros. This is physiology. This is brain health. This is leptin and insulin. You need to eat healthy fats in moderate amounts. And you need to eat on a 3-hour schedule. This will dramatically improve staying on a plan. These 3 things alone, along with having this community, tapping in and doing your own personal development, exercising, stop, challenge, and choose, which is your fundamental first tool for all of this. Do I really want the big plate? Do I really need all of that? You gotta stop and question yourself. Do I really want to just douse my body with gasoline? No. Is it hard in the beginning? Sure. But can you reprogram yourself? Absolutely. With some time, with our fuelings, they're an amazing tool. And then you could be down over 100 pounds like James has in just a year. And maybe you don't need to lose 100 pounds, but whatever you're experiencing right now is still very heavy. And so what would it be like to remove that? And how could some of these fundamental key things help you? That's what we need to be asking. Has anybody experienced cravings, let's say, when you eat too much or eat the wrong thing? Would anybody like to come off mute and share what things throw you off? I think it's helpful to know we're not alone. Or maybe a question you may have.
I'll share. One of the things, and you guys, you may not even realize this, so be listening right now. If you're kind of not paying attention, pay attention. When you are tired, everything goes off too. So I was finding that my window between 1 and 3, I work at UPS and I work very early in the morning. I have to be there between 2:30 a.m. and 3:30 a.m., which means I'm getting about 4 to 5.5 hours sleep. I have to play catch up on the weekends. So between 1 and 3, my eating schedule was off. There was a gap. And when the gap was there, like if nobody was home and there was like Nutella or something like that, which is not allowed in my house, by the way, anymore. Yeah, I would go to town on it, and like I could just like, oh, let's have this with Nutella, and and I wouldn't even put it on anything. It would be spoonfuls, because that's just the way I am. So what I found from doing the work in the light book was like, wait a minute, like, am I hungry, or like what's missing? And what was missing was sleep. So instead of going to the cupboard, I went to sleep, and so I started scheduling a nap. So I just want to tell you guys that, and also if you're thirsty, if you're dehydrated, it will also mimic being hungry and will cause you to go to those things that are that you're weakest at. So just be aware, ask yourself that stop, challenge, choose. Am I really hungry, or is this something else going on? So that's what I want to share.
That is really so good, you guys. I experienced with Mel when she was figuring out her 1 to 3 hour gap. So in her stop, challenge, choose.
I accidentally muted you because your name's different on there. Sorry, honey.
Oh, that's okay.
Change your name.
When she would go through her 1 to 3 o'clock time span, in the beginning, she would call me. That was her way of challenging that time frame. She'd be like, dude, I need you to help me. I'm going to walk, you know, blah, blah. Well, I'm not always available between 1 to 3. So then she had to come up with a new strategy, and she figured out if she just took a nap, like literally parented herself, pulled herself to her room and put herself to bed for that time, she could alleviate that time block and reset her physiology and then move on. So stop, challenge, and choose can go in phases, right? Like, you know what? Sometimes your armor doesn't always work and you're going to need a second tool. Jen, did you have something to share?
I was just going to say about those cravings, because I know I was borderline diabetic, and I don't know if anybody else has had that feeling, but sometimes when you become a diabetic or borderline, I had gestational diabetes and stuff. The need to be satisfied with sugar or chocolate is so strong. It's insane. Like I remember searching my cabinets and looking for something sweet. Like I had to have something sweet and I didn't have any candy. I went through it all, right? This is before I started program. And I would grab dried cranberries and then I'd look and see if there was any like chocolate chip making stuff for cookies and stuff. And I found, and then I would go on that, or marshmallows or something that was for my kids. And I just remember like needing it so much. But then after starting this program and going through sugar detox, that craving was so much less now. And I'm so thankful for that, because man, I just remember just like scoring the cabinets, especially when you're around your cycle and your hormones are just all out of whack and it's all emotional stuff. It's just, that's when I definitely need holding up. And definitely, I love that you said that, you know, Mel, when you're tired, because then you go to bed and it was like, sometimes you're like, I get on the phone with somebody or go for a walk or do something, and then something to distract yourself. And then by you doing that, you kind of block that need to find something, you know, and the drinking water, like you said, Monica, is definitely helpful. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
I love that. You know, tired is a big thing, you guys. I had a habit of 9 p.m. walking into the pantry and being like, what's here? What's here? And I have to tell you, if the Cheez-Its were front and center, forget about it. I have no chance. I'm digging my hand in there. You know how they are, right? They activate your brain. So one handful's true until I like can get myself to stop. So things being in your eyesight is detrimental. Things being in the home is detrimental, right? So if we can do things to reel that back, that would help. Move them out of your eyesight. Maybe don't bring them home if you can. I know that's tough in a lot of instances, but I know I've employed both of those things, not bringing them home or moving them, going to bed, absolutely, right? But I'm so grateful that we have these tools, you guys, because I don't know about you, like how many times would you grab, like, say the Sour Kids, what are they called, those Sour Patch Kids, like grab the little thing, dude, before I know it, the whole bag's gone, and like it is what it is. And then now I'm gonna go eat something else, and like this was just that spiral I was in. And now that I know what I know, I can say, should I call somebody? Should I go to bed? Should I drink some water? Am I just tired? Is it my cycle? Am I really hungry? Am I stressed out? Like I can stop and challenge myself through all of this. And this, you guys, has helped me sustain 170-pound weight loss. So it is no joke. Okay, it works. And all of you here are sustaining and maintaining your health in so many ways. Dawn, I love you. What you got, girl?
I just wanted to share one thing that I've been doing. Is it really bad echo? Sorry if it is. One thing that I've been doing that's been really working for me is when I go out to eat, before I start eating, because if it's on my plate, I want to finish it. I ask them for a to-go box and I put half of it in the box and put it away. That's been really helpful for me, because I'm one of those ones, even if I'm done, technically, I'll still eat it while everybody's there at the table, we're talking, we're doing whatever. I'll start nibbling at more and more and more of the meal, and I'm full already. So putting it away out of eyesight has been really helpful for me.
Oh my God, that's so good. I would have forgotten that one, but that is so helpful, you guys, because again, sometimes we can't control portion sizes. And now, especially when you go to a restaurant, they love to serve you 8 times too much, right? And so it is super helpful to, Mel used to do that all the time at a restaurant, literally put half the salad away, put it on the other table so you don't even get to see it, because we have been trained to eat everything off our plate. And it's just one of those long strongholds where we want to finish everything that we've been given, you know? So that was awesome. Okay, so it is 5:31. We will let you go. I want to thank James again for his incredible story. For all of you that shared, thank you so much for your feedback. It is valuable, it is super helpful. And for any of you that have been struggling, just remember that what you tell yourself is always manifesting, okay? So we're going to change our language. We are amazing. We are learning. We are coming into congruence with who we really are. We eat food because we need it for nutrients. We don't live to eat. And we are figuring this out every single day. You're amazing. You're capable. You're able. Your metabolism is fast AF. You're strong AF. You're amazing. So keep saying that to yourself all weekend and win your weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.